In this video, I'm going to show you how to get started with the new RadScheduler Reminder included with the Q2 2010 release of Rad controls for WinForms. So as you can see, I've previously created a WinForms application that contains a RadScheduler and a RadScheduler Navigator. And if we jump into the code behind for this, as you can see here inside of the form load event, I'm creating an appointment and adding it to the appointments collection of RadScheduler. Well, this is just a test appointment that I'm creating. And as you can see here in the constructor, I set the time that it starts at to be datetime.now, but I want it to be 15 minutes and 5 seconds from now for this example. And this appointment lasts an hour. So before we get to the RadScheduler Reminder, let's take a look at the application in action in its current state. So here's the RadScheduler, and if we scroll down a little bit, here's the appointment that I've added to it that takes place 15 minutes and 5 seconds from now. So let's say that we want to notify the user when this appointment is coming up. Well, that's the reason that we would want to use the new RadScheduler Reminder. So let's go ahead and add that to this application now. So I'm going to exit out and switch back over to the form designer, and then from the toolbox there's actually a new component called RadScheduler Reminder, as you can see here, and I'll just simply drag that out into the form and select it. And if we come over here to the properties window, I can associate it with the scheduler. So I'm going to associate it with RadScheduler1 and a couple more properties that are available. Start notification. This property specifies how many minutes before an actual appointment start date I should be notified. So as you can see, currently it's set to 15 minutes, meaning that I'll be notified 15 minutes before any specific appointments start. And another property would be time interval, and this basically specifies how often it should check to see if I should be notified of an appointment possibly occurring sometime in the future. I'm going to go ahead and lower this to about 5 seconds just for the sake of this example. So now that we've set this up, I'm going to jump into the code behind real quick, and let's start the timer on the RadScheduler Reminder. So up here inside of the form load event, I'm going to say RadScheduler Reminder dot start reminder, and that'll start up the reminder for us. And if we look at my appointment once again, as I mentioned earlier, it starts 15 minutes and 5 seconds from now. Well, the reason I have it starting at that point is so that 5 seconds after I start this application, the reminder is going to notify me that I have an upcoming appointment, since it's been set up to notify me 15 minutes before any appointments occur. So let's click Run and take a look at this in action. So now that the application is up, it should be about 5 seconds, and then it will display a dialog to me, and there it is. As you can see, it's now reminding me that I have an appointment in about 15 minutes. And I have a few options that I can use on this dialog. I can choose to snooze this appointment, which means I'll be reminded again in a certain amount of time. I can also dismiss the appointment if I no longer wish to be notified about it. And then finally, there's also an open item button. And currently, if I click this button, it does nothing. Well, there's actually an event on the RadScheduler Reminder that will allow me to customize what this particular button does. So let's go ahead and set that up now. So I'm going to exit out of the application, and we'll jump right back here into the code behind. And if we take a look at the RadScheduler Reminder object, there is an item opened event. And this is the event that occurs when a user clicks that button. So I'm going to go ahead and implement this event. And we'll make it show the edit appointment dialog for the appointment that has currently been selected. So I'm going to say edit appointment dialog, and we'll create a new dialog variable, and we'll say new edit appointment dialog. And if we look at the event arguments for this particular event, it actually passes in the object that I'm being reminded of. And that's this object right here. And since I'm being reminded of appointments, we can actually cast this object to an event that might be displayed inside of RadScheduler. So I'm going to say iEvent, and then we'll say e.remindObject, and then the scheduler data will be this.radscheduler1. And then now that we've set up the dialog, all we need to do is show the dialog, and we're good to go. So let's take a look at the application once more. And Again, we'll have to wait about 5 seconds for the dialog to be displayed to us, warning us of an upcoming appointment. And now that it's been displayed, when I click the Open Item button, it's going to call that event and display my Edit Appointment dialog to me using the selected appointment as the source. And that's basically all it takes to get started with RadScheduler Reminder. Thanks for watching.